So Dr. Schaub, in the little exercise we did, was what was interesting for me, and obviously I've done this many times, but when you go back, which I just did, into this old event, I had actually pretty clear pictures,
Hmm.
and memories. I could see certain things happening, several people involved, and what kind of was interesting, I could really feel the emotion that
Hmm.
was there. It was quite strong. It's like almost like when I went into that me, that little me, so to speak, which wasn't that long time ago actually. Uh, I could really feel a pretty strong emotion there. Now you
Hmm.
mentioned before that releasing that emotion is very important. How would you do that? How would I do that?
Right. There is, one of the methods that you are also familiar with, which I think is extremely powerful, is timeline therapy, which was developed by Dr. Ted James.
Which,
I
by the way, he also is speaking in the summit. Ted and
Oh,
Adriana James, they are part of the summit, which is
oh,
wonderful.
that's fabulous. It's
Yeah.
fabulous. And, I developed a method based on timeline therapy, which is called the pattern resolution process, which is more specifically for anxiety. And basically, the idea is that we are repeating the same protective patterns. What anxiety basically makes us do is try to protect ourselves, right? I mean, even in this event that you may have seen from your childhood, the idea is when you're anxious, I need to be safe. I need to make myself safe. And those protective patterns we are repeating over and over and over again. So these can be patterns of becoming invisible. I want to just get away from it, avoid a situation. It can be a pattern of pleasing. I just going to make sure that everybody's okay with me, or of becoming the overachiever to prove yourself, your worthiness. Some people become the rebels, and they're basically this way avoiding rejection by pushing everyone away or going against the stream. So or some people become very vigilant. They are just constantly checking and looking for potential danger. So there's a whole handful of protective patterns. And when you recognize this is a pattern that I have been repeating, you can actually go back in your life into your memory. This is where the subconscious stores all those memories, and this is where the word timeline therapy comes from. It is stored in a way that is very linear. So where your past and your present and the future are basically depicted like a line. And you can go back into the past to a few of those key events early on where you have started this pattern, and then you can take on a position, a learning state, a position where you can actually look down onto these events and you can recognize what there is for you to learn from them. Now, with the pattern resolution process, there are 5 questions you ask yourself, and those questions help you to resolve that issue. It really, changes your perspective on it. And what's so fun about the subconscious mind is that it's a very quick learner. So once you're teaching the subconscious, okay, this is what I need to know from this event. In some ways, you could say these emotions on the past are like little red flags that the subconscious is holding on to and saying, hey, come back and look at these events. There's something for you to learn. So you go back, and then you learn those things. And then the subconscious can extrapolate this learning and the way of processing and finding resolution with the past, and actually can extrapolate it to decades of other events where you repeated the same pattern. And this way you can let go of a huge amount of emotional baggage in a matter of minutes. It's quite fantastic because, again, the subconscious needs more like a nudge, and then like a domino effect, it can go through your entire past, and you can find completion with all of this. And it usually doesn't come back. Once you have resolved it, your subconscious has a new perspective on the event, and then you usually feel, really that it is resolved.
Yeah, and what I can imagine, it's almost like, as you said, having this baggage, this old baggage that we carry around, which puts us down, and it's like almost like having a fresh or much more energy available to whatever we want to do.
You know, it's like a reboot in many
Yeah.
ways. And I had clients that told me after this process, all of a sudden they saw colors. I mean, literally, they had a black and white view on the world. It was all maybe like in a gray shade. And then after that, everything appeared brighter. I had clients that for the first time actually could look into the mirror and see themselves because they were always avoiding themselves, always feeling embarrassed and ashamed. And after that, for the first time, they could actually acknowledge themselves. It's very, very powerful. And that's what I love about the subconscious mind versus just working with the conscious mind. The subconscious really makes those changes in a way that we cannot really explain, but they are so profound and so life transforming that this is the healing potential that we all have available to us.